In this video, we're going to talk about cofunctions and complements. We're going to talk about the explanation and then do some examples. Alright, so two angles are said to be complementary when the sum of the measure is 90 degrees. So here we have 53 degrees and 37 degrees. So if I add 53 degrees plus 37 degrees, that's going to give me 90 degrees. So here, 53 and 37 are complementary to each other. So if we look at the sine of 37 degrees, I'm going to come over here and use my calculator. The sine of 37 degrees, I get 0.602. And then if I put in my calculator cosine of 53 degrees, I actually get the same thing. I get 0.602. So as you can see, the sine of 37 degrees and the cosine of 53 degrees gives you the same exact answer. So let's look at a couple more of these relationships. Here we have secant of 37 degrees, and we remember that secant is 1 over cosine theta, and cosecant is 1 over sine of theta. So now I can put this in my calculator as 1 over the cosine of 37 degrees. So 1 divided by the cosine of 37 degrees. I get approximately 1.25. And over here I have 1 over the sine of theta, which in this case our theta is 53. So I have 1 over the sine of 53 degrees. Putting that into my calculator, I again get the same thing, approximately 1.25. So we have this relationship going on between sine and cosine. So let's look at what happens when we have tangent and cotangent. So I have the tangent of 37 degrees, which is approximately 0.75. And remember, the cotangent is the reciprocal of the tangent function, so that I'm actually going to need 1 over the tangent of 53 degrees. So I have 1 divided by the tangent of 53 degrees, still gives me that same answer, approximately 0.75. So we have some type of relationship going on here. So if we go to the next slide, these are actually called cofunction identities. So if we have this angle theta and this other angle, which is 90 minus theta, we have a relationship going on here. We have a relationship between sine of that angle and the cosine of 90 minus that same angle, which is what we were seeing on the previous slide. So these are all our cofunction identities, and we can use given values to find values that we may need to find. And if we look at this next example, that's exactly what we're doing. So we're given the sine of 18 degrees, but we need the sine of 72 degrees. Well, if I look, 72 degrees plus 18 degrees gives me 90 degrees. So here I can use that identity, sine of theta equals cosine of 90 degrees minus that theta. So here sine of theta equals cosine of 90 minus that angle. So that's really the cosine of 18 degrees, because 90 minus 72 gives me that 18. So the sine of 72 is going to be equal to the cosine of 18 degrees. And we're given that cosine of 18 degrees up here. So the sine of 72 is going to be approximately 0.9511. So we can use these relationships in order to find all of the values. So for cosine of 72 degrees, that's going to be the same as the sine of 18 degrees, which is given above to be approximately 0.309. The tangent of 72 degrees is the same as having the cotangent of 90 minus 72. So this really means that we're looking for the cotangent of 18 degrees. So the only thing given above is the tangent of 18 degrees. But remember that cotangent is the reciprocal for tangent. So now we have 1 over the tangent of 19 degrees, and we can put that in our calculator. 1 divided by the tangent of 18 degrees, which was given up here, 0.3249. And we're left with approximately 3.078. All right, the cosecant of 72 degrees. The cosecant equals the secant of 90 minus that angle. So I have the secant of 90 degrees minus 72 degrees. So I need the secant of 18 degrees. Well, secant is the reciprocal of cosine, so now I have 1 over cosine of 18 degrees, which is given. So I can put that in my calculator, 1 over the cosine of 18 degrees, which is 0.9511, and I get approximately 1.05. Now the secant of 72 degrees, the secant is related to our cosecant. So we would have the cosecant of 18 degrees. And the cosecant is 1 over our sine. So we have 1 over the sine of 18 degrees. So we have 1 divided by the sine of 18 degrees, which is given by 0.309. So that's approximately 3.24. And last, the cotangent is the tangent of 90 minus that angle. So we're looking for the tangent of 18 degrees, which is given above, and it's approximately 0.3249. So you can see how you can use these cofunction identities in order to be able to find things that you don't know based off of things that you may have been given. Alright, so in this last example here we have secant theta equals 1.5304, and we're trying to find sine of 90 degrees minus theta. So if you remember, sine of 90 degrees minus theta equaled cosine theta. And here we're given secant theta, and we know that secant theta equals 1 over cosine theta. So if secant theta equals this 1.5304, we have cosine theta equals 1 over 1.5304. Putting that into our calculator, 1 divided by 1.5304, we get that cosine theta is approximately 0.65, and we also know that cosine theta equals sine of 90 minus that theta. So sine of 90 degrees minus theta is also approximately 0.65. Okay, and that's really all there is to know about cofunctions and complements.